the questions that are being asked are getting really excited because it's a subject that I'm so passionate about. The human behavior and plastic and the litter, a global litter pandemic, is very close to my heart. I've been raising this consciousness into the human minds about how to be responsible when it comes to litter and litter disposing of litter. Anyway, so another question has risen. There was one mask and one pair of gloves, and they're saying I might have planted it, I might have put it there. Every video I make, I say, because this will rise into the human mind, that who knows that it was put in there? Who knows that was planted before I start making the video? Anyway, regardless of that, I have explained about how the truth becomes a reality. In a story, you have two options, one to believe, one to disbelieve, but you're no closer to the truth because you're not with me in the journey. Anyhow, I said, with the singular glove and the mask, it was that singular piece of plastic that went into the ocean, that went on the street, when the packaging and plastic became the new norm of transporting our food from the farm land to the colorful and immaculately dressed shelves of our supermarkets. For our convenience, the packaging was one of the greatest inventions on the planet. Yet, human beings were not upgraded with their education as to what to do with this packaging, what to do with this plastic. So today, countless number of creatures on the planet are struggling and suffering with this. Nets, plastic nets tangled, plastic bags eaten, wildlife destroyed because they are feeding on this plastic, which is absolutely everywhere because there's no land today with abundance of food for the animals and wild animals, because we've cleared up for our factories, for our homes, for our streets, for our minerals, for our natural resource cravings of natural resources of the planet. The oceans are polluted with mountains and islands of plastic rubbish floating up on the oceans and washing up on shorelines across the globe. No one is spared from it. It started with a singular disposal, reckless disposal of the plastic to the wild, to the streets, to the sidewalk, to a garden, to a park, to a forest, to a rainforest, to a river, to a lake, to a pond, to the waterways. And today, the animals are feeding upon them. And similarly, the masks and gloves are being asked to be used by our governments, communities, and medical advice are asking us to use these masks. So, if you're not educated as to how to dispose this infectious medical waste material responsibly, we're going to have a more serious problem than what we have with plastic. And remember, it is a singular problem. It is the individual problem, which is a singular, of course. an individual who was possibly walking down the street thought, get rid of the mask, don't need it now. Get rid of the gloves, don't need it now. So with this, I gave an answer. A singular will become a plural. The plural will become an infestation, a pandemic in a global population of 7.4 billion. When this is the case, if the human responsibility on the consciousness isn't provoked, we will find ourselves amongst all of these billions of masks and billions of gloves strewn across our landmass, our oceans, our rivers, our mountains, our forests, our lakes, streets, gardens, parks. Where will you find a healthy environment when you continue to go and do this kind of most aberrant of behaviors, irresponsible of behaviors? One-time use mask, one-time use gloves are disposed at will cause a tremendous harm to us all. Let's take the responsible actions individually to be more accountable for how we live on this planet. Once we do that, we can dance with the pleasantness, we can dance with the hygiene conditions, we can probably even dance with the virus, because we have made clear to the virus that we are more accountable and more responsible than your reckless behavior of infecting us. Hope life for you become a pleasant one, and the living environment becomes even more pleasant because of your responsibilities that you took on to make a change.